Just cannot catch a break. Take a look.
If the U.S. makes the extremely poor decision to carry out a military attack on Cuba, then we're going to move. We're going to turn up, we're going to be in the streets, and we are going to demonstrate to the U.S. government that there is going to be material and political consequences if they lay a finger on Cuba.
Someone sent me this video from ADN Cuba commenting on what this lady said. Feel free to go to ADN Cuba's profile. They have great content, and you can see this one. I'll go ahead and tag them in the bottom. Vamos al mambo. Socotroco alert. No puedo. ¿Por dónde empezar? Where do we begin? We're going to see who this individual is and what organization she represents in a moment. But let's focus on her words for a moment. We're going to turn up. We're going to be in the streets. Did I miss something? Is she Cuban? Ella es exiliada. Did she flee communism? Because a reoccurring theme with these people that belong to these coalitions, that make these videos, that mobilize the youth of America, these people are not Cubans. These people are not Cubans. So we have to aguantar. We have to sit here as Cubans and take it from people that are not Cuban For those of you that had any doubts when we tell you those protests, those Code Pink, those Puentes de Amor, those protests, down with the blockade, let Cuba live, hands off Cuba. Those protests, when we tell you they are staged, they're programmed, here's the proof. We're gonna be in the streets, we're gonna turn up to let the government know. You know what's really insulting? You know what's really insulting? The fact that they're not turning up for the past 67 years of communism that has ruined Cuba. That there hasn't been a protest on their behalf because of the political prisoners, because of the oppression, because of the lack of freedom of speech, because of the violations of human rights. Nothing. Vaya. Cero. Nobody's insulted except us, because we've seen it with our own eyes and we felt it in our own lives, if not personally, but through family. Nunca veo que es un balsero. It's never a rafter that is advocating for the things these people advocate. But let's learn more about who they are and why they hold this position. Take a look.
I'm also so happy to be on the call with my comrades. Hey, Chris. Chris and I actually met through the Vencezolas Brigade, although I will say his reputation preceded him, his activism. So I'm one of 5 elected co-chairs of the National Network on Cuba. I'm actually the most recently elected one. I came in last fall at the fall annual meeting. But the National Network on Cuba is a coalition of U.S.-based social justice organizations engaged in work in opposition to the U.S. government's genocidal war against the Cuban Revolution.
So we're learning that the National Network on Cuba is a coalition of around 60 organizations that are united in purpose, and I wrote it down, espérate, because I don't want to miss a beat. USA social justice organizations engaged against the US's in opposition against the US's genocidal war against Cuba. I went through the list. I'm going to show you part of that list now, so you kind of understand where I'm coming from. De dónde viene la indignación, right? Cosas que ya sabemos, but every time we have to watch it, lo sentimos. USA social justice organizations against the U.S.'s genocidal war against the Cuban Revolution. So they mobilize with resources from these organizations to prolong the Cuban regime. And while the exile community doesn't have nearly as many resources as these people do, because they're backed by these US social justice organizations, we are out here struggling to get the word out that the Cuban regime needs to end. Because the moment the regime ends, the embargo goes. And the people of Cuba can have a free future. These people don't care about anything. Let me go ahead and show you just a little bit. Go ahead and go to their website. Be informed. Just a little bit of the organizations that belong to the National Network on Cuba. Dime si esto no te parece interesante. Coincidencia? I think not. So the National Network on Cuba is a coalition of people, of organizations that work together united in purpose. When have you seen a communist united in purpose with anything or anyone that does not align with their communist views? Communist Party, right alongside Code Pink, and DSA, oh my gosh, Mandani no tiene nada que ver con socialismo, you guys. He has nothing to do with communism. When have you seen the Communist Party aligned alongside organizations that they disagree with? They're on the same side. Wake up. There are a lot of you que están dormidos, especially Cuban Americans, asleep. I've seen a handful of Cuban Americans asleep, dormidos en los laureles, in your laurels, mira. That's sleep. Y mientras tanto, these people are on the same side. The same side that has oppressed Cuba for 67 years. So watch who you vote into office, because that's where our future is headed.